was a subject of debate and mixed emotions in Brooklyn Center. The temporary fence around the Brooklyn Center police station will come down and a permanent one will go up. The temporary fencing was erected in April last year after protests and unrest that followed the death of Daunte Wright. There was already fencing around the back and sides of the police station that was put up in 2003. The city received a grant for $150,000 to help cover the $190,000 cost of the fence. The new one will be curved across the yard in front of the building. City Manager Reggie Edwards says the design keeps the building secure while sending a message of togetherness and understanding. Even though the matter was not up for a vote, the mayor and 3 city council members disagreed about putting the fence up after a presentation at this week's city council meeting.
I think it is a mistake to respond by building a fence, a wall in front of the police station in response to an event that doesn't happen every day.
We're balancing both the needs of our police to feel safe and supported by their leadership, as well as the needs of our community to feel like the police are there to actually serve and protect them as well.
Construction on the permanent fence is expected to begin later this month. A Brooklyn Center man has admitted to staging an arson at his home to collect insurance proceeds, initially telling police it happened because of his Trump flag. Dennis Mola pleaded guilty to 1 count of wire fraud. Investigators say Mola staged the arson by spray painting Biden 2020, BLM for Black Lives Matter, and an Antifa symbol on his garage. Mola told police his camper was set on fire because it had a Trump 2020 flag on it. According to investigators, Mola collected more than $60,000 in fraudulent insurance proceeds and $17,000 through a GoFundMe. He will be sentenced at a later date. A Brooklyn Park man is using his talents to spread peace and unity throughout the community. Reporter Sonia Goen shows us what he's doing to uplift a high-crime area.
I paint a lot of diverse youths.
Gino Oko is going to new heights to spread kindness and compassion.
I want their face to be known.
To an area that's seen a rise in violence over the last few years, including a man who was fatally shot at a nearby convenience store last year.
I'm hoping that this mural would, have people at peace.
Waterside African Market is his canvas.
Everyone here are residents of Brooklyn Park.
It's located right off Brooklyn Boulevard. He's hoping the bright colors will lift the spirits of the neighborhood.
Maybe, if someone was having a bad day and they're just walking past and they just see it or so, and then they see a kid smiling and stuff, maybe that would, change their mood.
For the past week, the artist has been spray painting the faces of Brooklyn Park's youngest residents.
I feel as though kids are really empowering. They have a strong message that a lot of us, we pretty much forget when we become adults.
The former Park Center grad says adults can learn a thing or two from children.
They don't necessarily see a person as the color of their skin or their race, so they judge you by your character.
Oko says doing a mural this size with spray paint is difficult.
It's very windy, so pretty much 80% of my paint's gone with the wind.
But he says it's worth it if he can make a difference in the community.
I want people to have that community pride, to feel as though this is Brooklyn Park, this is my neighborhood, this is where I'm from.
Beautifying and uplifting Brooklyn Park, one spray can at a time.
Look at how beautiful Brooklyn Park is becoming.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Gino Oko says the mural should be finished sometime next week. He received 2 art grants totaling $10,000 to use for the project. Brooklyn Center will soon be home to a new workforce development center, thanks in part to federal funding.
And it is our honor to present this $1 million check to them today.
Representative Ilhan Omar presented a $1 million check to officials from Brooklyn Park nonprofit African Career Education and Resources Incorporated, or ACER, along with its project partner. The money will be used to develop 2 workforce centers aimed at helping local African and Latino communities. The Innovation and Catalyst Center will focus on job placement, training, advocacy, education of workers' rights, and wealth creation.
there's still a lot of work to be done in Minnesota, and we're so thankful for the 5th Congressional District for being a part, of that investment.
Acer hopes to acquire the space for the Innovation and Catalyst Center and Brooklyn Center later this year and have it up and running by February. The city of Brooklyn Park is considering changes to how it operates recycling due to continued service issues from its current hauler, Waste Management. According to city officials, Brooklyn Park has had service delays since June, including another delay on Monday. Waste Management pins the blame on a driver shortage. The company has had a contract with Brooklyn Park since 1999, but due to service problems, the city is seeking proposals from other vendors. The city is also considering buying its own recycling carts, which officials say would eliminate a competitive advantage that the current hauler has and could provide long-term cost savings. The city's current recycling contract ends next summer. As our thoughts turn to Halloween, there's a growing number of people putting teal pumpkins on their porch. Teal pumpkins, like the ones here at the Robbinsdale Hy-Vee, have a special meaning. They signify an allergy-safe candy, toy, or trinket that will be given away during trick-or-treating.
It can be really hard, and especially with young kids, it can be frustrating because they may not understand the magnitude of their food allergy, or they just get frustrated because they can't have what other kids have.
You can go online to register your teal pumpkin on a map so families can chart out a food-safe trick-or-treating route.
Section playoffs got underway for many local prep soccer teams Tuesday. The Maple Grove girls are hoping for a strong showing in the playoffs. Maple Grove girls soccer, the 4th seed in Section 5-3A, hosting the number 5 seed Roseville. A lot of traffic in front of the Raiders net here. Maple Grove's number 11, Avery Toms, kicks it into the net, giving the Crimson a 1-0 lead. About 2 minutes later, Kendall Quall on the direct free kick puts a long shot on net. Kelsey Wentland gets the rebound and she buries it. Maple Grove is on top 2-0. Late first half, Abby Oakland crosses the ball where it's headed by Alex Urchel. Roseville can't clear, and then Urchel knocks the loose ball into the Raiders' net. Maple Grove leads 3-0 at halftime. Second half, Maple Grove's Franny Gastansky sets up Urchel for her second goal of the night. The Crimson win 4-0. They play at top seed Moundsview in the section semifinals Thursday night. The Maple Grove boys soccer team is ranked number 2 in the state in Class 3A. The Crimson started what they hope to be a long postseason run on Tuesday night. Top-seeded Maple Grove boys soccer hosting Irondale in the Section 5-3A quarterfinals. Watch the great pass by Anson Karn. This one travels about 60 yards in the air. Carter Sheard catches up to it on the other end and gets the goalie out of position, buries the shot for a goal. And it's 1-0 Crimson, 1:40 into the match. Another great setup here as Chris Franz sends a long pass ahead, and Sheard is there again. He scores his second goal of the match and 15th of the season, and the Crimson are up 2-0. Corner kick from Aaron Bedia. Sheard with a header that goes off the Roseville defender and in. Sheard and Maple Grove have 3 goals in the first 18 minutes of play. They lead 3-0 at halftime. Second half, Isaac Swenson gets free, makes one nice move, shoots and scores. Maple Grove goes on to beat Irondale 5-0. The Crimson host Spring Lake Park in the section semifinals on Thursday. The Wayzata boys soccer team is the top seed in Section 6-3A, where play begins Thursday. Jay Wilcox has more on the Trojans.
There's a lot to like about the regular season for the Wayzata boys soccer team. The Trojans enter the playoffs with a 13-1-2 record, number 3 ranking in Class 3A.
I think we had some great moments. We achieved the main goal of winning the conference, but we got a lot better from the start of the season and just focusing on getting better one day at a time.
Not a lot of teams thought we were going to still be very good with our whole back line being gone. Last year was all seniors, so no one graduated. So for me, it wasn't a surprise that we were doing good, but I feel like for a lot of other teams, it was a big surprise.
Really excited, happy with how they played. We kept growing and improving each game, so we're really pleased to where we're at by the end of the season, and it's time to start a new chapter with section playoffs.
The Trojans stayed unbeaten until the last week of the regular season when they fell 3-2 to Eden Prairie. It's not necessarily a bad thing to take a loss.
I feel like it was a good reality check for us. Really know that we are beatable. Any team can beat us. We're not untouchable. It really prepares us for sections, knowing that one game and you're out.
Now it's time for the Section 6-3A tournament, where Wayzata's the #1 seed. The Trojans were one of many top teams to be upset in sections last fall, so they know they have to be ready.
Sections is always different because, I mean, in the regular season you can afford a loss, but as soon as you lose in sections, it's all over. And being a senior now, it's kind of, you understand what the seniors were talking about last year because it really is your last run. And if you lose, you're done and no second chances.
I think quite a number of teams have a shot to compete. All three Minneapolis schools are really strong. Armstrong has had a fantastic season. St. Louis Park with new coaching has done really well. So it's going to be a tough competition.
They have the talent. Now it's time to prove it on the field for Wayzata. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.